It started with the rot, a plague that swept across the land, reducing plants, animals, and earth alike into a putrid mass. Great scientists and inventors peered into an alternate reality for solutions, creating the Great Machine, made to reverse the rot. But what they found was that their cure was worse than the disease. Now the remnants of humanity can only run in this world doomed by the devastation. Terrible temporal storms bring the devastation, and the line between our world and the Rustworld becomes indistinguishable. I will run for as long as it takes, for years if I have to, and I will hold on to the hope that one day we can reverse this madness. We're once again thrust naked and afraid into the expansive world of Vintage Story. Close behind us, the devastation leaks into our world. Everything it touches turns to rust and rot, and it brings with it malformed creatures from beyond. Creatures that are more than capable of ending my life. Even the creatures of this world are driven mad with insanity. All I can do right now is run, as far and as fast as I can. It will find me again. I just need time. There are many challenges ahead. I won't be able to stay in one place too long, unless I can find a way to hold back the devastation. And even if I do, I won't be able to leave to hunt, gather food, chop trees, or prospect for ores. Even grass will become a scarce resource. Clay will be destroyed, the ground itself will become impenetrable. How will I get ores, or stone? How will I even feed myself, let alone survive the onslaught of enemies? And worst of all, what happens when a storm comes, and the line between our world and the Rustworld becomes indistinguishable? In time, all of these problems will have to be solved, but for now, I need as much distance from the devastation as possible. It is worth stopping to pick up crops and berries as I go, but my inventory space is limited. Okay, hopefully this is far enough. I have some basic needs to address. If I'm to gather the resources I need to survive, then first, I need bags. So I make a flint knife and harvest some cattails. Then I weave them into baskets. There. That's 12 more inventory slots. Next, I need hides for clothes and armor. Temperature isn't normally something you have to worry about until winter, but I started naked, and because I hate myself, I reduced the temperature hardiness. The only accessible clothing right now is rawhide from animals. I could use animal fat to cure them for better options, but that's better saved for making armor. A flint spear is the only viable hunting weapon available to me. I'll also need some horsetail for healing, but it's getting dark. I need to find a place to shelter for the night. I make a shovel and an axe, chop down a tree for firewood, make a torch and firelighter, and set about making shelter for the night. No devastation yet. The next priority is food. Running all day from an incomprehensible cosmic horror is hard work. Not at all helped by me choosing the Blackguard class, but those combat buffs saved me more than once. When I was gathering the cattails yesterday, I also harvested the roots. I don't normally do this, but it's all going to be destroyed by the devastation anyway, so why not? That'll keep me on for a day or two, but what I really need is cooked meals, which means it's time for pottery. The earliest forms of pottery date back- Okay, no, I'm not doing that again. Alright, let's go find some clay. So the best thing I can do today is find some clay. Bodies of water should have clay nearby. Maybe if I follow the river? Damn it. Oh no, okay, come on. It's running, it's running. Yes! Just got one for the Seraph. Fuck. Oh, I knew it. This is my domain. Let's go! Nice. Still no clay. But I have enough hide to make a top. Now I just need a bottom. No way, no way, no way. Hunting a bear was not on my bingo card for today, but we didn't get any hide. That's a shame. There is no way I can take on a bear in a fair fight, so we're probably not going to kill another for a long time. The fat'll come in handy for armor though. The devastation should be a few days away, but there are signs of its presence. As the sun begins to set, I find a ruin that looks like a good place to make camp. Unfortunately, it's infested with locusts. Hey, there's even a scrap axe in here. The locust nests sometimes drop flax, and I got enough to make a simple bow. I also found some feathers in a chest, so I make some flint arrows. I also make an improvised shield and body armor. It's only made of sticks and wood, but it's better than nothing. How many of you actually own Vintage Story? Are you the type of person who likes to play something before you buy it? Do you remember when there was that craze about streaming games from the cloud? Well, I'd like to share what feels like a progression of that idea. Down below, there are 3 links you can click to play a bit of Robocop, Redacted, and Company of Heroes free. No strings attached. It's called Ludio. Think of it like a tech demo. The idea is that I think mainly developers, can upload a segment of a game to share with others. Imagine if I could share the best parts of the Devastation challenge, or any of my challenges for that matter, through a web browser instantly without downloading anything, just like the links below. It's still in development, and there are issues. For example, currently we can't change settings like mouse sensitivity, which was a bit jarring. But other than that, can you imagine if in the future we're uploading clips that you can just play instead of watch? I think the main purpose of this is for game developers to showcase their games and help with marketing, sort of like a demo, except playable on any PC specs. And there's virtually no loading time. But yeah, that's it. Nothing to sell or shill you on. It's like a tech demo. All they want is some feedback on how the system feels. So, click the links below and play a couple of the challenges, and let us know how it goes. Hopefully, developers see this, and we can start a culture of getting gameplay before buying a game. So, thanks for sponsoring the video, Ludio. Today, we really need clay. Given the amount of time needed to fire it, plus make some charcoal and smelt some copper, it's unlikely that we'll have enough time to finish before the devastation catches up. Or a storm. Speaking of, I need a game plan for the storm. There is a non-zero chance I get trapped by unbreakable blocks and end the run. Much like day 2, the search for clay leads me to find animals, which are always worth hunting. I've also found enough copper to smelt, so I start marking them, in case I have enough time to make a pickaxe to mine them. However, it feels like things are deteriorating. Can't see any clay anywhere. Is that clay? I rush back home, form a crucible, a bowl, and 2 cooking pots. I use the scrap axe to chop down some trees, make a charcoal pit, and make pit kilns for the pots. Pottery by day 3 is pretty slow. We should have enough time to get our first pickaxe, but it's going to be close. With the kilns still firing, I again head out to hunt. I don't know if I can take these guys on. Oh! Holy shit! Yeah, I gotta make sure to keep my health topped up. You might be starting to see why the Blackguard is such a good class for this challenge. On the topic of health, my nutrition is looking really good. I've been mainly subsisting off of berries, but by harvesting all the cattails, and because of all the hunting, I'm getting a pretty significant health buff. Why are they running from me? Is it like a rotten bear? I mean, it's pretty passive. Oh, okay, that's not passive. A wolf. 2 wolves. Okay. I don't know how I hit you. Oh, dude, I'm so strong! Who knew a shield was like the perfect counter to wolves? Overconfident from the shield's performance, I cautiously try my luck fighting an itinerant. Nope! These guys are not to be messed with. Holy shit. Oh, my armor's completely destroyed. Okay. Yeah. I think I'll stick to killing wolves for now. If I had better equipment, I could take on all the bears. But right now, it's just too risky. I didn't know where to put this, but I knew that at some point, I had to bring attention to soil instability. This has ended runs before. Who killed me? I'm keen to keep moving before the devastation catches up, but until the pots and charcoal is done, I'm bound to the ruin base. Okay, this is like the third time I've ran past this guy and gotten scared. I'm gonna have to give him a name at this rate. When I return home, the kilns are done. I waste no time making a fire for the crucible and stick all the copper in. That's when I realise I haven't made any tool or ingot moulds. I'd gotten way ahead of myself. I hadn't even made any blacksmithing tongs. But before I can address the issue, a bone mass appears. Rust and Rot adds 2 bosses to the game that can very rarely spawn out in the world, or more commonly inside the devastation. They're kinda dumb, but this one has a ranged attack that can absolutely wreck you if you're not wearing armor. He also does this. Thankfully, he doesn't seem too interested in me, and he wanders off. He is still out there though. I stay at the top of the ruin just in case, and make some pants. Probably a good thing I wasn't wearing any. The next day, I stumble across some tin. It's only 2 pieces, but if there's a vein underground, we could get an insane boost to our progression by skipping past copper straight to bronze. But otherwise, I'm basically just killing time until the clay is done firing. But I'm trying to make that time productive. I grab some more clay and fire a hammer and ingot mold, attempt to make a kinda safe box in case the storm comes, and I follow a meteor into the water to see if it drops anything useful. I make 3 more sets of stick armor, visit Gaz, you alright Gaz? And then make some soup before sleeping for the night. When I wake, the pottery is done, so I rush to heat up the copper, although I totally forgot I need an anvil mold too. The pressure is really getting to me. We're overdue either a storm or the devastation catching up to us. Firing it with charcoal will make it faster, but there's a real chance I'll have to abandon it before it's done. I pour out a copper pickaxe and a hammerhead, and 2 ingots, before setting off to mine some copper. I pretty quickly reach what I think is enough for the anvil, but again, I need the mold. You know what they say, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Well, no point sitting around waiting. Are you dead? Oh, I killed you. I killed you. That's a bear. That's a bear. That's a bear. That's a bear. Okay, to the water. No, this water's not like that. Oh. No. No, 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 not like this. Oh my god, I did it! Oh my god, I killed a bear. That was rash. But it's good to know that I can tank maybe 4 hits from a bear, but I really shouldn't do that again. At least the wolves feel like easy prey. Food is definitely becoming a problem. For the most part, I've foraged this place dry, and the only remaining mushrooms are those I don't recognize. Most of them won't outright kill you, but it's not worth the risk. Here Gav. The anvil's done, but I'm 1 nugget short. Bloody typical. The only other copper that I've marked is to the south, but there's been a rock creature guarding that area for days. I just need 1 nugget. I don't have a shot. Okay, you know what? Fuck you, pal. Fuck. Fuck. No, okay. Heal. Oh, Jesus! No, 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 no. You know what? If that's led him away. Come on. This is really dumb. Okay, there it is. Oh, there was a copper piece here the whole time. I just needed the 1. I immediately began smelting the copper, but I'm worried about my health. I used up all my healing in that little fight. It also got me thinking about armor. Most people skip copper, and sometimes even bronze armor, but I need all the help I can get against these rust and rock creatures. The pelts I need are cured, but I'm gonna need an obscene amount of metal to make them. And even then, I don't even know what type of armor I want. Oh yeah, the tin. I rushed back to the spot I found it and dig down, but nothing. Ah well. What is that? What is that? Oh fuck, the devastation. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, we're due a storm as well. Okay, oh god, this is the worst timing. Get everything I need. Just like bug out bag, go. How was I still not prepared for this? I was so fixated on getting the copper smelted before I go, but it doesn't even matter. I've got a few minutes to decide what to take and what to abandon. I can almost take everything, But the last items are a toss-up of time saving, like a stack of clay and a lit torch, but I'd have to wear my shield and take a hunger penalty.
And then I guess I can ditch the rest. I can see it. Do I need a pickaxe mold? I have a pickaxe. I don't need a torch. Come on, please, just hurry the fuck up. Okay, it's done. Oh god, they're here.
I've left it way too late, and now I have to run through the devastation to get out. That was stupid. I wasn't prepared in the slightest. Now we've got to spend all day running, and I've got no food. Fuck. I knew this was gonna happen. I've got about 8 hours to find somewhere safe to stay. I can't dig down or use a cave because I'll get trapped. And I'm not even sure if I can build something that can withstand the devastation. Plus, I still have to run far enough away from it. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. The terrain around here is not good for a storm. I need somewhere to hide, and then a clear shot to run when it ends. But these rolling hills go on forever.
This is probably my best bet. I don't know, it seems like I'm running out of time and this is my only option. And I don't know about this. Maybe hay won't devastate?
As I explore the ruins, I'm musing to myself which blocks I can use. Any natural blocks can be devastated. That means dirt, stone, gravel, and wood. Cobblestone should be fine, maybe the doors too. Thankfully, one of the ruins is completely intact. So I fill the windows with packed dirt, make a barrier in front of the door, then collect rubble to make cobblestone.
So that gives me 2 options to run out. I should be able to break out, so once the devastation ends... Oh god, I don't know. I don't know until it... It's here. This is it. Oh no! Fuck. Okay, they're not opening the door. Dude, my fucking weapon's gonna break.
Storms bring the devastation with them. I'm gonna have to run through a completely devastated land to escape, and then keep running to buy myself more time. But thankfully the door is holding, and so is the cobblestone. This is good information for later. It's a light storm, so it doesn't last too long. But still, damn if it isn't nerve-wracking. It's probably best I break my way out of the top floor. So when the storm ends, I take a look around, then jump. For whatever reason, it's relatively quiet. Maybe all the enemies were drawn to the ruin. I'm just glad I don't have to deal with them. Okay, time to get the hell out of Dodge. I'll have to stop for food though, otherwise I'll starve. Now you should understand the crux of this challenge. Until the time comes that I feel we can survive the devastation, we must flee. All the while, the speed at which the devastation spreads increases with each storm. Eventually, a time will come where I cannot escape it anymore. I must run, and pray to find the resources I need. Again, no tin vein. But it's not like I had the inventory space to carry it. I need to find somewhere to settle again. I come across a tower which looks like a good place to stop. But locusts stream out, and despite my best efforts, I have to retreat. This place was cursed anyway, look at the fog. So I continue the journey north, until I reach the end of the land. This does hinder my plans somewhat, but it makes an easy decision to stop for a while. There's a lot of resources here too. There's a tiny island that seems like a safe place to stay. Maybe the devastation won't be able to cross the ocean. I should make a boat. But there are more pressing things right now. I drop my storage vessel, empty my inventory, make an axe and chop a tree to make a fire, and there's another mob boss. Something tells me this challenge isn't gonna get easier. I sneak back onto the island, and when I look away, he vanishes? You know what? I'm not gonna question it. As I light a fire to re-smelt the copper, I realise that I left the molds and tongs. There's no ponds nearby, so the only way I can get rope for the tongs is vines. I head west to the nearby forest to look for some. Vines are one of those items that always clog my inventory, and I end up throwing them away. But right now, I can't find a single one. I search throughout the night, which is thankfully bright, and end up stranded and starving, having to spearfish to sustain myself. A meteor hits the mountain, and I'm able to witness what actually happens. They explode, scattering whatever metal they were composed of across a wide area. This one was titanium, but without any space to carry it, I decided to leave it. I'd only been lugging it around for years anyway. Still no vines, but I end up finding something better. Tin. This time with a vein beneath it. I only need 10% tin to make bronze, so 10 units of tin is equivalent to 100 units of bronze. This might be enough for armor. I spend a good portion of the day just checking around to make sure that I didn't leave any. It seems like the pine trees don't host vines, so I head south to the nearest lake. I'm really getting the hang of killing wolves. It's such a far cry from being one-shot by everything the last time I played. At last, I can make ropes. And I get some berries to keep the starvation away. God, winter is gonna be bad. Speaking of bad things, the trip home doesn't quite go smoothly. I'm burning through healing, and with my stone tools constantly breaking, it's not worth fighting drifters. It's really hard to tell how powerful they are in this mod. As I continue home, I find another tin deposit. This one made me dig deep to extract it, and as I return to the surface... What is this? It's not even been 2 days. Did I go too far south? 2 days is not enough to make anything. How am I supposed to make leather? How can I process things like iron and steel? Everything takes time. And if each cycle is only going to be 2 days, or less? I can think about it later. I gotta get back to my items. It takes all day to get back. How long until it reaches the sea? Do I even have time to make bronze? I have to try. While I wait for it to melt, I realize that the hides I applied fat to have cured, opening up new recipes. I could make better armor, bags, or warm clothing. Clothes aren't an issue yet, and I'd be better off waiting till bronze for armor, so bags is the obvious choice. If I replace all my baskets, I'll get 4 more inventory slots, but for now, I only have enough cattails for 2. Anyway, the copper is done. Time to... At last, I can make ropes. So the only way I can get rope for the tongs... I can't be this stupid. I cannot be this stupid. I cannot be this stupid. I just used all my cattails. The one thing I needed them for. I've been diagnosed with the stupid. God, how can I be so fucking dumb? I head over to the nearest ponds, but they only have thatch, which can't be made into ropes. So I again head south, find some cattails, grab enough for more bags and the tongs, head back, cook some actual meals, and finally cast the anvil. I really need to lock in after wasting so much time. I mine all the nearby copper until my pickaxe breaks, and grab some clay for cobblestone to make a forge. Now I can make and smelt bronze. With the 4 extra backpack slots, I can carry more when I have to run, but now I have more items to carry too. I'm going to end up having to abandon stuff again. But there is a solution here. Rafts can carry a single reed basket, giving me an additional 8 slots for a total of 24. Plus, I have to cross the sea anyway, so it makes perfect sense. Canoes are out of the question. I'd need to get pitch glue, which requires a quern. Perhaps next time. A canoe can hold 1 chest and 2 pots for something like 120 storage slots, which will see me through potentially years. So that's the plan. Rafts are pretty easy to make aside from, of course, fucking rope. So I focus on what takes time. More charcoal and more pottery. Ignore the fire. It's fine. Then I head out to find more cattails for the boat. This is when I run into my first rift spire. So the mod updated right before I started playing. There used to only be entities that you had to kill, and they spawned enemies. They still do that. But now they also have these block versions which are causing the fog that we keep seeing. I have no idea what else they do, but they could lead to extra devastation spread, sanity loss, and enemy spawns. My main concern is if one appears where I settle, I'll be forced to move due to insanity, unless I can figure out a way to destroy it. I also come across one of these guys. With some pelts and a load of cattails, I head back, find Gav again, and I make a raft. With a reed chest on the front, we're good to make a quick escape, which couldn't be too soon. They don't seem to want to cross the water, apart from Gav, who I swear I nearly got fed up with and killed. Regardless, I'm able to smelt and pour my first tin bronze. I have a boat, an anvil, tin bronze, copper ingots heating on the forge, some pelts curing, and more charcoal processing. This is good. I smith the copper ingots into nails for chests, hooks for butchering, and a new copper pickaxe. Then pour the rest of the tin bronze. I'm keen to make real armor, but everything is limited by leather except for lamellar. Since leather has a big question mark above it, lamellar is probably the only realistic option. We can also make a bronze shield, and of course bronze tools. We are in a much better position than last time. It may have been chaotic, but we've progressed significantly. If I can focus on getting leather and a canoe in the next settlement, we'll be in a really strong position. And once again, I find myself just waiting for the devastation. I'm ready to flee, but there's no sense in wasting time. I might as well get some copper and smelt some more bronze, breaking my only hammer in the process. Is it just me, or are things getting bad? There's human carcasses around. Some of the rust and rock creatures fight each other, and another bone mass chases me off my island. If I had any armor, I could maybe take it on. If I want to make a full set of lamellar armor, it'll take 19 tin bronze ingots. I managed to kill some spawners, and I try going down a deep mine, but again, no armor, no confidence. There are plenty of enemies in the deep that can one-shot me. Anyway, I smelt a new hammer, but before I can finish the tools I was working on, the devastation arrives. Time to put this boating into practice. Oh, fuck off, Gav. With the extra storage on the raft, I can take all the important items. Everything I'm leaving can be easily reacquired. By the time morning comes, I've reached a new set of islands. I unload all my items and begin deforesting for a charcoal pit, only for me to realize as I light it that the devastation has already caught up to me. Something is not right. I pack up, abandoning the day's work, and head further north, to another continent, when I get a storm warning. Three tolls. This is going to be a heavy storm. Again, I have until the end of the day, but I can see the devastation in the distance. It should take longer than all day to reach me, so I start digging out a cave to ride out the storm. I can use the stones I mine to make cobblestone, which we know is safe from the devastation. I'm cooking while I wait for the storm, when I cause a cave-in. Yeah, never mind that no block so far has caused a cave-in when mining copper, but I mine one in here and it destroys my camp. Thankfully, the food survives. Before I'm resettled, I hear that ominous sound in the distance. The devastation spread faster than I anticipated. Now, the smart thing to do would have been to just wait. This entire area is going to be devastated anyway, but for some reason I thought it better to leave, only for the second warning to hit, and I have to rush back and seal the cave. There was a fire starter in here, but without light, I can't find it, so I spend the entire storm in darkness. As it comes to an end, I break out and run for the boat. I really need to be more prepared for these. It was hard to tell, but I ran past about 5 enemies. All in all, we've been pretty lucky with the storms and devastation. All it takes is one bad enemy spawn to kill me. But it's not all bad. We made good progress by getting bronze. Now I can destroy the young rift spires, stopping sanity loss and removing the fog. In the next settlement, I can focus on finishing the tool set, getting armor, and hopefully making a canoe. So I stop on a flat coastline with some ruins. They could have some good loot that would boost our progression. Never mind that this is basically grave robbing. I got a sick crown. Okay, this is literally grave robbing. Unfortunately, I didn't go far enough. The devastation is already on the horizon. I rush to the final ruin, stopping to get some copper on the way. It's risky, but it turns out to be worth it as I find a tin ingot. The devastation is close as I return to the raft. So that's twice I've sailed away, and not gone far enough. And to make matters worse, I'm running out of ocean. Thankfully there's a lake or an ocean over a spit of land. So I can shore up, make a free trip portage to bring the raft and chests over, then set sail on the other side. I was trying to avoid carrying containers this way, because it's a bit overpowered. But with the devastation following unnaturally fast, I felt it necessary. It was never a hard rule, but I'm allowing myself to carry a chest on my back when fleeing the devastation, at least until I upgrade from the raft. Speaking of the devastation, I'm going to take no chances this time. I'll paddle as far north as I can. I cook the last of my food into some porridge and set off. After paddling all day, I come across some small islands and immediately get started making charcoal. If I can get 1 or 2 stacks of charcoal so I don't have to make it every time I stop, I'll be able to immediately focus on progressing instead of panicking and missing stuff because I'm stressed. I make 3 medium-sized pits. That should do the trick. Next, I start working on a house. It may seem a little non-essential, but I'm kinda stuck waiting for the charcoal anyway, and it'd be nice to call somewhere home for a while. When it's built, it genuinely feels cozy. I can offload my items, and I know I have a safe place ready for the storm. I take down a bear using the deep water, but as always, no hide. I'm beginning to think I need a butchering setup before I even have a chance to get one. With the charcoal ready, I finally forge myself a full set of tin bronze tools. I fire more ingot molds, cooking pots, bowls and crucibles, before smithing a boss and a ring for a bronze shield. I swear these are the most annoying things to smith. We're so far north now, that we basically have midnight sun. It sets below the horizon, but it never really gets darker than dusk. This does mean that winter is going to be almost entirely night. It's going to be dark almost all the time. Next on the docket is the canoe. Ignoring the existential possibility that we run out of ocean, it has so much storage that we could do the majority of the playthrough living out of it. To make it, we'll need a quern, which requires 1 of 4 hard stones. Unfortunately, the islands are sandstone, so I'm going to have to sail to find some. The first island I visit is a bust, and it also seems quite dangerous. There's devastation here, but thankfully it doesn't seem to be spreading. There's a dark rock in the distance which could be basalt, which is one of the rocks we can use, but every time I see it, I think it's devastation spreading over the hills. This challenge is getting to me, man. I'm going to be playing normal Vintage Story and start panicking when I see dark blocks. I'm definitely spooked, because I go home and start organising the raft to hold the most important stuff in case I have to dip. I also cook the last of my food. You better get used to hearing me starve, because it ain't going nowhere. I paddle over to the nearby continent and head up the hills to a light-coloured block that could be granite, only to find that it's limestone. Not exactly what I was looking for, but it's the main ingredient I need for leather. I mine 3 stacks of stones. It won't last long, but even a little leather will go a long way. So I turn around and head to the darker rock, but it turns out it's slate. Damn. Well, I can at least make some progress towards the canoe if I get some resin, and thankfully all the trees here are pine, so I start looking for some. That's when I realise the Blackguard foraging debuff also applies to resin. Whatever. We only need 8. Surely it won't take that long. I take out my frustration on some enemies. When I sail back, I'm finally able to make the full set of lamellar. I had exactly enough tin ore. It's lucky I found that tin ingot, which I used a chisel to break into 20 more tin pieces. Since none of the land around me has the stone I need for the quern, I figured, fuck it, I'll dig down. The first layer is, as we already know, sandstone. The second layer is conglomerate, and the third is slate. God damn it. I figured there were only 3 layers of stone, but kept going just in case. And it's a good thing I did, because as I got to my last ladder, I hit granite. To get a stone block, you have to mine everything supporting it. Once I have the required 4, I head back to the surface and make the quern. Now I just need resin. I set off again, and if you ever see the game lagging, this is why. I'm tempted to turn it off, but it is funny. After scouring the land all day and killing a few wolves, I get the 8 required resin, plus a couple extra. I also need some birch logs. Alright, let's build this canoe. This is turning out to be an extremely productive cycle. I made a full set of tin bronze tools and armour, plus a shield. I made 2.5 stacks of charcoal, got limestone, and even made a goddamn canoe! Hell yeah! The canoe can't hold as much as I thought it could. Still, 2 reed chests and a wooden chest is a huge upgrade. I head out the next day, primarily looking for food. It's at that phase in the cycle where I'm expecting the devastation or a storm any second now. Although, with the new armour, I'm eager to see what kind of trouble I can get into. First, I take on a skulker nest. Turns out you get nothing from these. One of the skulkers dropped a single flax. That's when I run into a bone mass. You know what? I think I can take him.
Oh fuck. Oh, he spawns fucking enemies. Of course he does. Dude, he's a menace. Oh, I could maybe... Okay, let me go for it. If he despawns, I am actually gonna cry. He's dead! Holy shit.
That was... Yeah, I mean, I nearly died there. If I wasn't a blackguard, I'd be dead. Hell, it wouldn't even be the first time. But 2 gold ingots as a reward? Holy shit, that is worth risking your life for. Turns out there was a rift spire nearby that was spawning the drifters. I also tried going down this terribly deep ruin, and after going back and forth like a scared little bitch, I get spooked by a type of drifter I've never seen before. Please just remember that I don't have any lives. I'm not just being a wimp. I kill some cows, a bear, which of course doesn't give me a hide, but what would that even do now that I have armor? And surprisingly, I kill a deer.
I'm trapped, I'm trapped. Don't fucking... Don't blunder! Oh, the blunders! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes!
Before finally getting the storm warning. 3 bells. It's another heavy one. So I head back. Enough food for a few days, and a home safe from the storm. Or so I thought. I don't even know what to say. They can break doors. What else can they break? That storm got me down to 14% sanity too. You start dying and spawning nightmare enemies at 12. I'm gonna have to reassess my strategy. This cycle, I want leather, or at least to start the tanning process. Luckily, on the way to the next continent, I find an island with animals to hunt. Dude, the spear's so good.
That's an elk! Are they both elk? Moose, oh my god, okay. Fucking rabbit. No, what are you doing? Come back.
I promise I'll improve my hunting skills. I mean, I'll have to if I want to survive winter. This island also has a ton of copper, but I don't want to stay here. I'll return after I settle on the main continent. The next morning, I make landfall. I need oak for leather. It's not super urgent, since I need to soak the hides in lime water first, but, well, you'll see. So I make a bunch of barrels, I grind up the limestone, and then realize all the water is salt water. Everything is salt water. This is what I get for adding a mod mid-game. So I set out a bunch of barrels to catch the rain, and eventually I have enough to start soaking hides. Next is butchering. I'm getting an 80% yield by butchering animals where they fall. This, stacked with the Blackguard debuffs, explains why I haven't had a single bear hide. The problem is space. Each butchering hook takes an inventory slot, and the butchering table takes a backpack slot. So if I take them with me, I'm losing at least 5 slots. The butchering table just isn't worth bringing, which in turn means it's never worth upgrading past the primitive one. The hooks are worth making out of metal though, so I make 2. I head out to hunt a caribou, then bring it back and skin it. The copper hook has a 100% yield. It doesn't mean guaranteed hides, but every little helps. A bear wanders over, so naturally I hunt that too. And place its body down to butcher once the caribou's blood is drained. You can collect the blood, but it's much too complicated to do anything with right now. When I butcher the bear, I finally get my first hide. Better late than never. I oil it to make it into armor. It's the only armor to give a heat bonus, so it'll come in handy as the weather cools. Plus, I can wear it when I don't want to damage my bronze armor. That's Blackguard armor. Some of the best protection in the game. It's sorta useless in its current state. It needs a lot of iron to repair it, but it's still a very rare find. Anyway, I finally make the primitive butchering table and butcher the skinned animals. This is going to be the main way we get through winter. I make a simple cellar to keep the meat from rotting. And with that, the first hides are done soaking. Things are starting to get a little too complicated to run out of a canoe. I'm already struggling for space. I can continue hunting and soaking hides and lime, but we're still limited by oak. And rainwater, but whatever. So I head out to explore this new continent. I can continue hunting, soaking hides, and making new tools, but if I don't find oak, I'm limited to these crappy 4-slot bags. I could upgrade to linen bags, but they require flax, in quantities I'd need to farm for. It also means I'll never upgrade my armor, make an elk saddle, glider, or improved bows. So I'm a little bit stuck. In the meantime, I make fishing hooks and lures for a more consistent food source, which I can bait with the bushmeat, since it's not very nutritious. And I head back to the South Island to get the copper. But even after sailing across the ocean, still no oak. So I decide to pack up early, and apparently not a moment too soon, as I get a storm warning. Free tolls again. I think every storm is going to be heavy. I have way more items now. I'm definitely going to have to leave some stuff. I can wear my armor for 3 extra slots, and even finally craft some boots, but I still have to leave a ton of material. There's no way I can take the butchering table or the barrels. It's been a pretty crap cycle. Sailing during the storm is a little risky, but the nightmare enemies seem to have trouble swimming. Despite the biggest cog I've ever seen, it's a fairly uneventful storm. I need oak. I think I can't stop until I find some, even if it takes me this entire storm cycle. But throughout the run, I haven't seen a single one. Come to think of it, I've only ever seen the one fruit tree, and I've only seen rye. No flax or wheat. I think in my retreat from the devastation, I think I've gone too far north. Oak and other plants don't grow where the winters get too cold. I'm fighting polar bears for Christ's sake. So I turn southward, following the continent east and then back down south.
Do I want to try and kill him? Okay, I'm out. Jesus Christ, why did that do so much? I'm not wearing my armor, you fucking idiot. During the second night of my voyage, I decided to stop and check out a deep mine. The loot down here could include some oak logs, as well as more limestone and other generally useful items, even iron ore. But what I find isn't any of those. Okay, I'll be honest. That was stupid. But we found an oak seed of all things. I didn't think that was even possible. Still, trees take a long time to grow. Much longer than a storm cycle. If only we had a way to stop the devastation. I continue trying to sail south, but I'm blocked by a large continent. So I follow the coast, happening upon a large, ruined tower. It's infested with locusts, but when I fight my way to the top, I find some books. This tower belonged to a faction called the Forlorn Hope. Before the devastation, they were an elite shock troop, involved in breaking long sieges, like that of the Siege of Antwerp. There's also a memoir about someone emerging after the Great Machine was activated. Those of you who watched my last video will know that this is Tobias. There's plenty of loot in here. I find some new drip, some terra preta, 4 acacia seeds, which, like oak, can be used to make leather, and a meteoric iron falx. That's an insane upgrade from bronze. I clear out all of the locust nests, which nets me some wool. Enough to make 3 woolen sacks. They're the same capacity as linen sacks, so I use all the flax I've gathered to complete the set. That was absolutely worth stopping for. But none of it'll be worth it if I can't find the resources I need. So I continue south, on my long adventure to find a climate warm enough for oak. Pace off! Finally heading south. No. That looks like a new kind of tree. Yeah, it's maple. Right. That's an oak tree! That's an oak tree! That's an oak tree! We've just had a storm. This could be perfect. It's probably gonna break my axe. Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Tanning is going to be quite the process, but there's no time right now. The devastation is closing in. I don my armor and shield so that I can carry the oak, then set sail as night begins to fall. It's already starting to get dark at night. I paddle east to a new continent. With each tanning stage taking 4.5 days, and storms being every 5 to 7 days, it means I don't have much leeway. I need to get started as soon as possible. As soon as I land, I fill a bucket with water, only to find that it's salty. And I get ambushed by a bear. Oh shit, he's actually going for me. I have my armor on. It's fine. I'm fumbling! Fuck me. Armor or not, I shouldn't be letting my guard down. All the nearby ponds are saltwater. I'm gonna have to land somewhere else and head inland. It's been at least a day since the storm. I'm not really sure if there's enough time to make leather, and I'm starving, so I need to stop to find food. Again, all these coastal ponds are water. What? Well, of course they're water. All these coastal ponds are saltwater. Even this inland cove is. But that waterfall, that's guaranteed to be fresh water. I head back to shore and bring back a chest of supplies. I'll get the storm warning. Oh, God damn it. But as I set up,
I get ambushed by drifters. That was weird, but no matter. I make a path to the waterfall, carry the barrels over, and fill them up. Okay, this little pond valley thing is cursed. I need to leave. Some quick maths says that I need 74 units of tannin for all of my hides. So I put 5 oak logs in each barrel for 100 tannin, then carry them up and out. Things are not looking good. I'm starving, low health, and I don't have any healing. I set up some fishing lines, but it won't provide anything in time. So I head out to forage. Oh! Yeah, this place is cursed. I can't even get back down the cove to get my chest of items. This is turning into an emergency. I'm one shot from death, even wearing armor. I head out for horsetail, but I'm also almost out of cattails. I'm really off my game. I sail to another island for food and horsetail. Unfortunately, it's mostly poisonous mushrooms, but I still get what I need. I should always keep a surplus of healing. I can't keep doing this.
This has been such... Oh! What the fuck? What the fuck? Why was that so loud?
With all the time I've wasted, there's no way I'll be able to do even the first cycle of leather. The oak logs take 24 hours to create weak tannin, and another 24 hours to make strong tannin. The hides then need to be soaked for 4.5 days, 2 times before the leather is ready. And since barrels can't be carried with liquid, I can't bring them to the next camp. So this has all been a giant waste of time. Except, I was wrong. The first cycle is only 3.5 days. I think that's just short enough. So I sleep, then head back to the cove to retrieve the supplies.
It's 2 barrels, there's a wolf. Let's not risk it. Is that 2 wolves? God damn. Right, come on then. Jesus! Okay, these are... Oh my goodness gracious. Is there a spawner?
I'm basically just waiting for the leather to be done now. I can take the soaked hides out after the first stage. I just have to find a new source of freshwater for the next camp. So I head out on an adventure, and have a very interesting island experience. Inside a tree trunk, I find my first temporal gear. In this scenario, they're used for a ton of things. Healing sanity, granting a life, and some stuff that will only be relevant later. We can only have a maximum of 1 life, and... What the fuck is that?
A Plains Reaper? Oh, fuck me.
Okay, I have no idea how much damage that would have done. But, dude, I spent like 20 hours testing this mod pack, and never once saw one of these. Jesus. As I was saying, we can have a maximum of 1 life. Using 2 temporal gears won't give me 2 lives. A second one, however, will let me change my respawn point. The other stuff will be relevant if I ever want to stop running and make a base, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. In the meantime, I'm so starved for cattails that I'm excited by vines. How pathetic. Sailing further, I come across a castle ruin and 2 traders. I ask his name and what he's doing out here. He gives me the usual spiel about rusty gears and most people sticking to villages. Trade is not something I'd really considered. Traders have limited stock, and it refreshes every week or so they're only useful on occasion. I wonder what happens to them when the devastation comes. They also have requests, usually a tool in exchange for the location of a special ruin. This one wants a gold scythe, something actually achievable with the gold we got from the bone mass. But I left all my molds and crucibles, so I'll have to refire them after the storm. The second trader sells gold omok pieces, which can be smelted into an ingot. Anyway, let's go check out this ruin. The top floors are collapsed, but there's a small amount of loot. The ground floor is a hall, sort of like a lord's keep. But as I approach the basement, enemies begin to emerge.
Don't know what kind of shiver that is. God damn, there's so many. What kind of shiver are you? Cork shiver? Deep split!
You know what? I think I'm going to use that temporal gear.
This is a terrible place to do it, but one life restored. The other corrupt. Okay, so the lighter one is the corrupt one. Fuck! It's clear. Oh my god. Okay, I don't think he would have one-shot me. But yeah, not really worth checking.
Seems like they were guarding the loot, though not a lot of it is useful to us. There's a flintlock schematic, for example, but it's not worth lugging that around for a year. The deep split itself had a temporal gear, so it was 100% worth it. So I head back up to the traders, buy the gold pieces, then set sail home. I make a quick stop for some berries, and enter a hell dimension with non-stop enemies. There were so many, I got another temporal gear. Unfortunately, they don't stack, so lugging them around is going to be a huge pain. Eventually I get back to camp, cook up all my food, and extract the hides. That leaves me once again waiting for the storm, which doesn't take long. I get the first warning as I make an expensive high capacity chest that doesn't fit in the canoe, and the second warning comes as I gear up and set sail. The canoe seems like a pretty safe place during the storm, as long as I keep moving. I just hope I never get trapped in a lake or something. I wonder what happens to them when the devastation comes. Alright, time to finally make leather. I reach the end of the ocean and find a freshwater pond. I'll have to spend 2 days making strong tannin, then spend 4.5 days soaking the leather. It's gonna be close. I sleep by the boat, getting ambushed in the morning by a plains reaper. Then I make the portage to the next body of water. I bring the barrels over, start firing all the molds I left behind, and I'm basically just waiting again. So I try to use the time wisely. I finally use that useless scythe to get a full stack of hay, almost go insane foraging for food.
Dude, I'm like going insane. Dude. What am I hearing? Oh god, I'm getting really fucking spooked right now.
And it wouldn't be one of my camps without travelling for miles only to find no cattails.
I think this is a dungeon. Holy! Fuck me. Okay, get out.
I make a shit shack, smelt 20 ingots of tin bronze, discovering in the process that peat gets hot enough to turn metal solidified in a crucible back to molten. I forge some new tools, and still end up just waiting around. With 2 days to go, I decide to explore the lake with the prospecting pick. I should have prospected a long time ago. I know how to do it, I've just never really done it properly. You dig down to the stone layer, take samples from 3 blocks, and see what trace of minerals are in the rock. The first few don't indicate anything useful, but after searching all day, and almost dying.
I don't know what to do, 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 I don't know what to do. Holy shit.
I get a reading on iron. Now I have to lock in where the deposit is. We do this by taking a reading to the north, east, south, and west, and then see which gives us the highest reading. You then follow that direction, and repeat until you no longer get a higher reading. Then you test the perpendicular directions, and repeat until you no longer get a higher reading in any direction. Once you have the highest reading, you can dig straight down around that mark, and with big deposits like iron, you're bound to find it pretty quickly. Bollocks. Alright, I've got about 12 hours to get enough iron and get back. Luckily I was smart enough to pre-pack the boat, but I still want to go back to the base to check if I missed anything. But in the rush for the iron, I've yet to realise that the body of water that the boat is on is a lake, so I need to make a portage before the storm too. And I go insane from the depth of the iron, and I have to call it before mining it all. 3 stacks I'll have to do. I rush back up and try desperately to find some food on the run back.
Oh, come on, just give me a little bit of food to see me on. Oh, there goes starvation.
As I sail back, the reality dawns on me.
I can't portage out of here. Oh my god, I can't. No.
I reach the base and have about 60 seconds to do a final sweep before... Oh, the lever's not done!
No. Dude, it's so fucking over.
The storm hits as I rush to the pond to the north, hoping that I can break through before the devastation spreads.
Oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to... Okay, I've gotta do this quick. Before... Come on. Before it devastates, come on. Fuck. No, I can't do this. I can't do this. Where's the boat, where's the boat, where's the boat? Get me out here. Oh my fucking god. Okay, go north. Plan B. I've gotta take my armor off because I'm gonna starve to death if I don't.
I stop myself before going too far. The devastation spreads to me instantly during a storm. I need to leave the North Avenue open for after the storm, but there's only so much space in here, so I circle around the lake. But the devastation continues to spread north. When it ends, I rush to the northernmost point of the lake, but the devastation isn't far behind. Ah, this is gonna be close. Jesus, that was way too close. Okay, at least we got iron. Honestly, if I'd have prospected earlier, I could have gotten it already. I did have to abandon a lot of items in the retreat, and the lever wasn't ready. That's a lot of time wasted. Alright, let's get my priorities straight. I shore the boat, and make a small shack to get situated. I sailed in a big circle, giving me the option to run back for the lever if I choose to. But first, I need to process this iron. I need to make bloomeries out of fire clay, which I can make by smelting flint in a crucible, mixing it with clay, and firing it in a pit kiln. I use peat as fuel, since I'm running low on charcoal. Speaking of, I may as well make a big charcoal pit while I'm here too. And I do some hunting and foraging to stave off starvation.
You, sir, are a fish.
The next day, the fire clay bricks are done, and I'm able to make my first bloomeries. Each furnace takes a full stack of hematite nuggets and some charcoal. About half a day later, the iron melts into a chunk at the bottom, called an iron bloom, which we can extract by breaking the furnace. We can't immediately work the iron. First, we'd need a bronze anvil, which I do have enough tin bronze to make, but no anvil mold. Once I do, I need to beat off the slag to form an ingot. But before I can start forming an anvil mold, the devastation appears on the horizon. Circling back south meant I didn't go far enough. I quickly pack everything into the canoe, making sure to harvest the charcoal pit, then I don my armour, ready for a journey into the devastation to retrieve the lever. The devastation nears the shore as I return. Another close call. This challenge would really be impossible without the canoe. I continue my voyage south, to warmer lands, stopping once I'd outrun the devastation to make leather backpacks. This is the best backpack we can achieve. The next tier requires chromite, which requires steel. And since a steel furnace requires a pulverizer, which requires a windmill, it's just not going to happen. On that note, iron is the highest tier we'll be able to achieve for tools, so our goal right now is pretty clear. Other than that, winter is fast approaching. Food is going to become scarce, and there's a real risk of me freezing to death on the water while I run. But before I can come to terms with it, I come across devastation, except this one isn't spreading. I make land to investigate. It's like the devastation we know, but somehow different. It seems to originate from a structure in the middle, surrounded by twisted earth and metal. Around it flies something fierce looking. I have a feeling we'll be returning here. Freezing, I light a fire before continuing to head south. If I can get closer to the equator, warmer weather will keep us alive, and provide more food. That is, if I can make it in time.
Well, I guess I'm sailing all day again today.
Eventually, I land on an island with a trader. It's not far enough south to be warm yet, but I really wanted to process the iron. I make some more bloomeries, fire an anvil,
Whoops.
and set up some fishing lines. I head onto the mainland, and come across the same kind of dungeon that I ran away from ages ago.
Dude, this is awful. It's lit though. Blood. More human corpses. What are you, a rotten miner? Dude, there's no loot here. Dude, what's the point of this if there's no loot? Still no loot. Still no loot. I'm hearing enemies, so there has to be something here. Okay, there's this room. X armor top. I can't get through. There's nothing here. Red battle. Tunic. Quicklime. Tailor blouse. Oh god, are you kidding? That's it. That's the special loot. I was like, oh, I found it.
That was very pointless. I sail back and cook the last of my food. Unfortunately, the island seems pretty cursed. First, I'm attacked while I cook. Then, when I wake up the next day, I get into a tangle with a boiler. This guy gave us free cupronickel ingots. A really rare resource for endgame contraptions. But it's so out of our league right now. Besides, I'm still starving. So I head out to hunt. But first, let me make my first iron tool. I spend the rest of the day hunting and foraging, even getting baited by some flax and falling into a cave with tin. However, when I try to return, I can't find my canoe in the dark. Okay. Fuck! No, 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 no! No! Shit! I respawned way back in the keep, tens of thousands of blocks away, inside the devastation. I have no more lives, no items, it's midnight, and I'm already starting to freeze. I find an oil lamp and a tattered coat. Suddenly, items I considered trash are giving me a lifeline. It's a long, long way back to my body. 6,000 blocks south and 7,000 blocks east. I can hear monsters outside as I wait for the sun to rise. And it doesn't take long for them to start breaking in. I have to run. Starving, I make it out. I quickly make a set of granite tools. I'm torn on what to do. On the one hand, I could make a full tool and bag set and make some clay pots to make food more effective, but risk being overtaken by cold weather. On the other hand, I could run non-stop until I make it back, but risk not finding enough forage and starving to death. Both still risk me being eaten by bears. And not to mention the monsters. I really should be avoiding forests. Unfortunately, the freezing mountains aren't much better, and there's a lot of them between me and my corpse. Eventually, I come across a huge valley with a lake full of cattails. This is good. I can make a full set of bags, harvest a ton of roots for food, and make some healing. There's a ton of baneflies, but they're more of a nuisance than anything. I start harvesting and making bags, stopping to warm up, before the sun sets at 4 PM. I push on to make the final bags, then make a small hut to sleep in. What the fuck is that? Is it a
Small, get a big spider.
Jesus, not even halfway. Fuck's sake. Go, 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 go. Fuck's sake. I need this. I need this. I need this. I need this. Fuck's sake, are you fucking kidding me? I need this. I need this. Where's all my stuff? Where's the boat? I swim over to the island I was camping at, and everything's gone, including the trader. Did it all despawn? Was it stolen? This puts me in a really, really bad spot. Winter is approaching, and I have nothing. Okay, there is a silver lining here. The entire run, I've been looking out for a unique type of ruin, and we passed one on the run back. Inside is an item that I need to progress, something that might let me finally fight back against the devastation, and it's only 1,000 blocks away. I may have lost everything, but if I can retrieve this one item, I might be able to finally stop running. So I set off to the ruin, avoiding increasing enemies, harvesting ever-dwindling food, and marking any resources I might need. Quietly in the background, every moment until now, I've been searching for this ruin. It leads deep underground, and always contains an advanced Jonas device that destroys rifts. Something tells me that in this world being slowly devastated by the Rustworld, this is the key to fighting back. From here on, everything changes.